Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's gonna show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag, pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Today, I've got something extra special for you guys. Sam Villa's in the house, so super excited. I'm seeing all of you guys logging in on the chat. Make sure you say hello. I see Kristen. What's up, Kristen? Rita, good to see you. Aunt Jackie's even on. What's up, Aunt Jackie? Lynn, what's up? Who else we got? Sharon? So here's the deal, guys. Before I bring Sam on, we have two rules in this show. First off, you got to share the show on whatever social platform you're on. Let's get as many people in this room as possible. And then also, make sure, if you're new, type new in the chat. If this is your first time on this show, we're now 43 episodes in, 43 days in a row doing this show. So make sure that you post that as well so everyone can say hello. We got some OGs. If you're an OG, type OG in the chat. And if you're new, type new. Also, if you have a question for Sam during the class, type Q, then put your question. That way I can easily see it in the chat. I'll interrupt Sam and I'll ask your question to him and he can answer it for you. He's got some haircutting planned, so very, very excited. Mr. Sam Villa, welcome to the show. Let me bring you in that way. How are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing good, my friend. How are you? You doing well?
I'm doing well. Again, we have that little delay I see. Let's see what I can do about that real quick. Let me see. Say hi again. Let's see if it
How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing awesome. I'm ready to go.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's do this. I'm gonna send you over. I'm gonna get rid of me. Less of me, more of you. There you go. All right, Sam.
All right, Matt. Thank you. Hey, guys, I'm excited to be here with Matt Beck, Free Salon Education. Make sure that if some of you are new on here, as Matt said, make sure you write new on there. But I've got really some great stuff planned for you. I really think going back to the salon is going to be a different change, a different ball game, as Matt and I were talking about earlier. So as I'm cutting some hair, I want to talk about these things and relate some of the things that I'm going to be doing, actually kind of relate them so that they help you behind the chair. So here's what I want to do. I want to come through and I'm going to do a dry haircut. A lot of people out there are talking about dry cutting. They're dry cutting a lot. Some people are choosing not to blow dry. Some people are mandated not to blow dry. But whether you choose to dry cut or not, I think dry cutting is always a great option to go to. Let's talk about the why behind dry cutting versus cutting something wet. When I want a little bit more control and I want a little bit more precision and control, that's when I'll go after a haircut wet. When I want to work with something more natural, or I know I'm going to be creating more soft edges, then I'll go to dry cutting because I see it as a visual exercise. It's a visual exercise for you, the hairdresser, so you can visibly see the edge as you're cutting. So you can also cut to natural movement, cut to the curl. It all depends upon whether the hair is straight or extremely curly in terms of how you're going to approach dry cutting. There's a lot of different ways to dry cut, my friends, lots, but what's the most important is understand the why behind it, Matt. So let's talk a little bit what I'm going to do.
All right.
Here's my client, Matt. All right. And obviously, I think what's going to happen, guys, is you're going to have a lot of clients that have come in and their hair has actually grown out. So what I want to do is give you some stories in regards to them saying, Sam, I want to keep my length. I like my length, yet I want to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. So let's talk about length first. Now, I'm going to give you a little exercise here, a cool little tip in terms of releasing length, yet at the same time, making it look when you're done cutting it, look like it was cut maybe 2 weeks ago, not like it was freshly cut walking out of the salon. And there's a reason for that. I think it's just the attitude that we're seeing in terms of the edges. You're seeing edges that are really, really soft and not so blunt. Although there are geometric shapes out there, I really think, Matt, that you know, it's all about knowing everything in terms of what's going on. So let's just go after some length first and bring the length up. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all of it at once. And what I want to do is I want to create a very soft edge here, a very soft edge. So watch what we're going to do. I'm just going to take right from the center, starting right from that center, taking a vertical section with that. I'm going to take a couple inches off. Okay. Now I'm going to work with a 7-inch dry cutting shear. I'm going to work with a swivel. And it's just because of the way I'm going to hold it, how I'm going to execute this, is just going to make it a lot easier. Okay. So I can come in this way or I can come in this way. Whichever way is much more comfortable for you. The idea is to keep that arm ergonomically straight. I'm going to come in this way so you can see. Okay, now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in at an angle. Look at the angle I'm going after. Look how I move over. So I'm just basically notching the hair. Now watch. Here's the key trick. Look at me just turn it over. Now look how I swiveled that. I turned over. I go opposite direction now. Opposite direction, opposite direction, opposite direction, opposite direction. So what I've done, Matt, is I've actually cut points there. Keep it in your hand. Wide teeth of the comb comes underneath. Hand reverses. And now I turn it so the hair hits horizontal or parallel to the floor. Now I want you to just simply make a fist. So I take my thumb, place it inside my index finger, and I just make a fist. Now look at the shear. The shear is now parallel with the hair. See how that's parallel? So I open and close. Now watch me move this to the shear. So what we want to do now is we're releasing the weight and just softening the interior. Why I'm working with a 7-inch dry cutting shear is because it allows me to go deeper into that. Now, for example, Matt, if I didn't have a long shear and I can't afford one, then what you want to do is take your short shear, that's about where the tip of the length of the shear would be, take it on top. The guiding blade goes on top of your index finger. Now slide down and close. So you can see I can still get deep by keeping my index finger not out here towards the edge, but keeping it more deep inside. Short shear on top, slide and cut. Long shear, stay parallel, open and close, and rotate. Now watch this edge, Matt. When I release this edge, watch that edge, how that edge looks like it's a little bit more grown out. It doesn't look like it's so fresh. Yes, exactly. Like it's not so freshly blunt, Matt. And that's what I'm looking for here.
I like that.
Okay, so it's basically coming through once again. Watch the V now. Okay, see how I set the closure of that shear with that guideline. There. Now watch me set up the closure of the shear to that length. See how those 2 points match? Now I come back in. Now turn it over. Okay, go short to long, short to long, short to long. Now you want to keep holding this. Reverse the palm of your hand towards her head. Come through. Notice how I immediately take this horizontal. Now come through with the shear, open and close, and move. Now what's key here is if I change the angle and come in at an angle, now I'm losing length. What I want to do is maintain the halo of length, but I want to go in and I want to release just some weight. And now release it, and you can just start to see how that edge looks a little bit not so just blunt all the way across. And that's what we're looking for.
So Sam, what densities do you love this kind of technique on?
You know, Matt, you can work with just about any density yet.
Okay.
The finer the hair is, then maybe all I want to do is just do this. So I'll go in one direction, opposite direction to create that point. But I find that with finer hair and hair that doesn't have maximum density, it's not necessary to do this.
Okay.
So once again, understand the fabric you're working with, Matt. That's so critical. The density of the fabric, the texture of it. Is it fine, medium, or coarse? That determines what you can and cannot do to it, and also determines what tools you can use, Matt.
Awesome.
All right, you can see now I'm going to over direct everything right back to a square line. So I'm staying pretty square here. Why? I want to just build a little bit more length in the front because of the way I'm going to layer this out. Now I'm going to go through and show you some cool ways to layer this in terms of she comes in, she's had this hair for one length, but she says, you know what, Sam, I'm ready. I want to layer my hair out. I've had it for one length, and I want something that's a little bit easier, something that I can kind of let dry by itself or that I don't have to spend time using a round brush on that. Look at that edge. You can just see, and watch this, Matt. Excuse my back for just a moment. Watch how this edge, look at it. See, you can see how it almost looks like it was sliced into.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been sliced. And then look at the pliability that has. So it's just a really easy, simple way to take off length. The last thing I want to do, guys, is this. Cut this to the length she wants, Matt. And then I come back in and I'm slicing and texturizing. Anytime we cut something really blunt, you're working twice as hard to get that edge to soften.
That's actually what I was just going to say. It's funny when people people go in precision cut it, wet the length, and then they go in and they twice as much time, like you're saying, fixing the blunt edge because they wanted something softer. So it's pretty cool to see that you're doing it all at once.
Yeah, you know what, Matt? I used to do that.
Yeah.
I'd go in there, man, and I'd spend, 45 minutes getting that haircut so precise. Then I'd go in and blow dry it, and then I'd spend another 15, 20 minutes slicing and texturizing and softening. And over the years, we just discovered things, So there's advantages to dry cutting. I can see it. I can feel it. When the hair is wet, you can't see it. You can't feel it.
All right, we got a cue. Can you do the same technique with a thinning shear or a texture shear?
Yeah. Yes, yet remember, okay, these teeth are predetermined. So anytime I go in and I close, this is what, 30, I think this is my 32, you're getting some hair taken out. So you have to be aware of that. So maybe what you might want to do, determine the density. Maybe you might going to go in, you might weave it like a highlight and now close and slide out.
Yeah, like
so
that.
So you're not taking out the max of it. Remember, you got to understand the limits and capabilities of the tools, the limits and capabilities of the fabric. Let the fabric tell you what tool to use and how to use it based upon that fabric and what the end result is that you want. Is that helping out, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. And can you do this on wet hair? Would you recommend doing something like this on wet hair?
Great question. Now watch the difference, okay? When this hair is wet, it compresses. When the hair is dry, it expands. Now, when it's wet, it's more supple. The shear goes right through it. When it's dry, the shear doesn't go through it. When it's wet, it gathers. Now you're getting more chunkiness. Yeah. So if you're looking for soft edges, I guarantee you'll go in and you can put in all of this and do this when the hair is wet. But I guarantee when you dry it, you're probably going to come back in and soften a little bit more based upon what your eyes see. Yeah. And that's just because when it's wet, it gathers. When it's dry, it separates more. So you can read it much easier in terms of the edge and the density and the way it feels when it's dry.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Now let's get into a little story here. This is a client. She comes in. She says, Sam, I like my hair the way it is. Let's just create a scenario here. But she says to me, she goes, I don't want it one length anymore. I'm not blow drying my hair anymore. I don't have the time. But Sam, get rid of this bulk right here. How many times have we heard that, Matt? They grab right here in the back and say, get rid of this.
Yeah.
But Sam, I want my hair to be long. I don't want it layered. All right. So here's what I would recommend we do. First of all, you have to communicate what you're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a triangle section in that center. Here's my triangle section.
I like that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Get it right for you, Matt. God, I've been doing this for months now. You think I could get it right?
I've been thinking lately, like, does somebody make, and this is silly to say this over the thing, but whatever. And I don't know if are you using dry erase markers on that?
Yes, sir, I am. No. Dry erase? No.
Yeah.
This is permanent.
So it won't go away.
Yeah. So what I find, Matt, is when I'm done with my mannequins, why throw them away? I'm just shaving them so that I give you another visual. So that they can see the visual on the head, three-dimensional.
I like it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I'll go here and give it to you two-dimensional. All right. Cool. So this is where they normally grab it, right here. So let's get this bulk out. Now this trick is great to do on one-length bobs. These clients that have one-length bobs, and they complain, it takes me forever, or I want a little bit of volume on the top, but they don't want to layer it out. They're scared. They're even scared of texturizing. So I'm going to create a little hidden secret. I'm going to take this triangle section here. I'm going to take this triangle section, elevate vertically. I'm going to cut a horizontal line. So when I let go of that, that's going to fall short to long like this. Yet, because this is a triangle, less mass of hair, because of the shape of the triangle, less mass of hair is getting shorter. More mass, because it's getting wider, is getting longer. That's what's great about using a triangle versus using a symmetrical rectangle here. Now you're just creating square type of layering, and you're taking maybe way too much out the top here. Now that's what's so cool about triangles. Working with triangles.
That's the best visual I've ever had of that, Sam. So appreciate that.
Oh,
that's good.
I love that, man.
That's good.
All right. Well, at Sam Villa, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you guys get it. This isn't about us,
Right.
knowing. It's more about really seeing the visual behind it. So now, Sam, how tall is this triangle? Once again, head shape, density. I could take that triangle lower if I wanted to, Matt. I don't need to take it this high. But in this particular case, I'm going to take it high. Why? Because of the length and the amount that I want to take out. Okay, now there's my triangle section. Now, you cannot be afraid to do this. I'm going to warn you now, but it's just great in the way it works. You could do it section by section if you want, but it's just great the way that it works in regards to getting the way that. All right, here we go, Matt.
All right.
All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of the 3/4 view there. There we go, okay. Now, we could do this section by section. Let's just go first section. Just take it to create a guide. So now, how short do I take this? Hot tip. If I want to leave this length, you use this length as the guide. That will tell you how short this area will be. Did you see how I could use that as a guide? Right there. Then that tells me how short. So that will give me short to long, but it maintains the length. All right, so let's maintain the length because we've already taken it off where we want it. So I'm just going to reach down below. There's that length. Bring it up. Now watch how I combine that together. Now let's go find that length. Okay, now watch me move the comb. Okay, you can just start to see there's the tip of that length. Okay, so that's going to be my guide. All right, now where people panic, Matt, is the fact they go, oh my gosh, that is so short right there. But you can see I still got some bevel to that. See how I've got bevel? So I'm not taking it so short that it's going to stick out. You have to be careful with that. Once I've got a guide, now I'm going to compress it. And I think compressed cutting is something you're going to want to move to in the salon because if time is going to be real critical now. Meaning, Matt, you're not going to service as many clients as you normally would during the day. So maybe you're going to try and find ways that you can shorten your time without sacrificing the end result and quality of service. Okay, now. Look how that took that weight out. Okay, so now when I run my hands through it, Matt, it's not so transparent that I can see through it.
Yep.
Sometimes with shags, we get so thin and so fine down there. So anytime I want weight and length in a certain area, I pull away from that. In this particular case, we elevated vertically. We cut a soft point cut a line soft horizontally into that to get that. All right. Now watch. Imagine that, Matt. You did that. This is a one length bob. Now everything comes over that one length, and you're saving the client lots of time in regards to drawing. Okay. Any questions
Super
on that? Did everybody learn something there?
I think I haven't seen any questions. So if you guys have a question, type Q and put your question. A lot of people are asking what type of haircut you're doing because they're just jumping on. So if you wanted to recap, just tell them what it is.
Yeah. So what I'm doing for you right now is you're going to see me create a layered haircut. But what I'm doing is I'm creating scenarios to lead you to that layered haircut. So the first scenario we did was people grabbing bulk down here when they come back after being away for so long. They're going to grab this area and get rid of the bulk. I just showed you a way to do that by taking a triangle section, elevating vertically, cutting horizontally, takes the bulk out. And then we also talked about how that could work for a one-length bob, make it a lot easier. Remember, you're getting rid of hair they can't see or they don't need in order for them to work with. Okay. Now, let's go to our next scenario, Matt. Now she comes in and this client says, Sam, I want some volume up here. I want some volume, but I'm afraid of layers. I want to be able to pull this hair back. Now, remember, I'm creating scenarios for you. You'll see where we're going to end up at the end with a haircut. Okay. I want to pull this back. I'm a yoga teacher. I work out a lot now. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to find front to back. All right. We're going to eliminate the front because this, I know, she needs to pull back. Okay, so let's eliminate that. All right. Once again, I'm giving you scenarios that you're going to be running into when you go back, or if you're back at the salon now, maybe you're running into these scenarios. And then you're also going to have the clients who are going to say, you know what, get all this hair off. I want it off. I want it short. All right, here we go. Now watch what I'm going to do now, Matt. Let's go here first. Let's go three-dimensional. All right. We're going to work with the middle part. Okay. Once we work with that middle part, I'm going to come in. I'm going to take a solid line in that crown area. Okay, I'm giving it to you dash right now for a reason. It's going to play off of that triangle that I just cut, remember. So you can incorporate this into what I'm about now to do now, or you can not do this and do this if you want, okay? Remember, let's not try to learn a haircut here. Watch the steps of what I'm creating here to help solve problems. That's what I want you to start thinking about behind the chairs, problems and solutions. Stop learning haircuts, guys. Learn the steps of the haircuts, how you could use them. Okay, so we're going to take that section. Now watch this, man. All right, so I got my high point here. I'm going to play off of that. So I'm just going to come through, take that section. And I'm going to take it just to about the top of that triangle that I had. Or if I didn't have the triangle, just take a halo circular section on top. All right. Now once I got that, Matt, because I know that I want this to be soft, let's say, for example, all she says, I need some volume in the crown. And she doesn't want to cut anything else, plus she needs to pull this back. This solid line, if I layer this out like I'm going to, this solid line could create a cap. So once I have that solid line, that creates your balance now coming in zigzagging. So the solid line gives me the base, gives me the balance of that. Instead of doing this, Matt, coming in and immediately drawing your zigzag in, now you're going back and forth, trying to balance it. I hope I'm making some sense there.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay, come through. Now see, I can see, and you got to really control this. Remember, you're dry cutting. There's some of that triangle that I've already cut, dropping out, no problem, don't worry about it. Remember, it's a pre-existing haircut. Just pretend pre-existing haircut. All right, this is what I know I'm going to layer, okay? So let's just get organized. All right, just checking my balance here. All right, that's great. All right, now let's take this, isolate this. All right, let's take the back, isolate the back. Okay, so I isolate this. I'd be saying, well, God, Sam, that requires time to section all this like this. Guys, remember, this is about now solving the issue of I want volume in the crown, but I don't want a lot of layers, and I don't want to see them. And I don't want to layer the front. I just need to pull it back. All right, so now I've got this circular section, okay, that section, but I went back through and I zigzagged that. Okay, that's what we've got. Okay, now watch what we're going to do, Matt. Let's go to the board. Follow me to the board here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use radial sections. So I'm going to take a section down the center. From that point, I'm going to radial. And we're just going to radial out. All right? That first section we take down that center, we're going to elevate in a diagonal position, and we're going to point at that. Okay? The next section I'm going to take it right from where it lives, elevate 45, and cut. Okay, so I'm not over-directing, not over-directing, not over-directing. Nothing's pinched to the center. So now here comes this section. Looks like this. There's my guide. That's where I went. Here's my next one. That's where I go. And then my next one. So I just keep moving with that as I go. All right? So from the back view, it looks like this. Now there's that first section. Okay, so we're here. Excuse my drawing, trying to give it to you 3D. So you can just see how I pivot from that. Making sense, Matt?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So a couple questions.
Yes.
First one is Michelle's asking, what happens if you do this haircut on a client and the client didn't want a layer on the inside? What would you do?
She doesn't want a layer on the inside.
I think.
In here?
Yeah, I think they're combining the two techniques. Maybe.
Yeah. So now, here's the way to communicate this. Okay, real simple. What the problem was, Sam, get rid of all this bulk. But Sam, I don't want a layer back there. My question to the client would be, I gave you the solution. It's a triangle section. We're going to take the weight out by layering it. You're not going to see it. It's not going to blend. It's going to solve the problem. Now, what's the priority?
Right.
To solve the problem or not layer it? That's simple.
Yep.
You see, I'm not going to debate with them, Matt, if that makes sense. I'm not going to debate with the client. You have a choice, A or B.
Yeah.
So I'm the professional. I'm telling you the solution is going to be, let's take out that triangle. I don't need to take it as short. I could leave it long, but that's going to solve the problem. Well, I don't want it layered like that, Sam. Okay, then what's the priority? To leave the weight or release the weight?
Right.
Well, Sam, could you texturize it? Could you texturize it like I see some people do? Yes, I could texturize it for you, but it's going to be like this. Sooner or later, it's going to get too thin, and we keep texturizing it, and you're going to lose any sense of movement and volume. I don't know. I hope I'm making sense here, guys. In other words,
I like that.
And you know what? You can't be a magician. I've got solution A, B, or C. Which one would you like?
Yeah.
What's the priority? That's how I answer those questions, Matt, because you just can't please everybody, guys. You just can't.
And can you do this on shorter hair? Is that a possibility? Does this transfer into that?
Yes. Matter of fact, all of these patterns I'm giving you here, you can use them on shorter hair.
Cool.
Use them on shorter hair. Like, let's say, for example, a graduated bob. Using that triangle on the back of a graduated bob works out great. Sure, you could use it on shorter hair, not a problem. All right, Matt, here we go. First section. Now I'm going to disregard, guys. I'm going to detach what I did underneath. Let's say, for example, you did the triangle, and now are you going to use that point of the triangle as a guide? Now I'm going to overlap this. Okay? Today, we have to understand, a haircut today does not have to blend. It must balance and it must function, but it does not have to blend. Why? Because over the years, we've discovered that I can make a haircut look like it visually blends, but it technically doesn't blend. And the reason being is because we've discovered that detaching areas, detaching sections is the best way to solve solutions. When I blend things, they're too compact. That's why we discovered point cutting and slicing, because we made it a little bit more loose. Okay, next section, that was my guide. Now I'm going to pivot, Matt. And all I'm working is in this zigzag crown area. I'll put this behind me so you can see. But I think that's so important we understand that, you know, we discover things as we go on, and you have to embrace change, especially now with what's going on in the world. But, I mean, change the way you think. Change the way you do. Change the way you say things, guys, and you're going to get people's attention. I think people right now in today's world, Matt, are looking for change. They're looking for something different. They want something a little bit different. They want to hear things a little bit differently. Okay, notice how I go back in once I just notch it. See how I notch it first? So watch me notch. In the old days, Matt, what would I do here? I'd look for my guide. There it is. Okay, I'd look for that guide, and then what I would do is I'd come in and cut what? Blunt line. Then I'd come back and I'd be there point cutting for days. Now, what I want you to do is see the guide, notch to the guide, now readjust, and point cut deep to the length that you created, maintaining the halo of length but releasing the weight out, so that when you comb through this, it looks very diffused. It looks like it blends. And that's why it solves the issue. It solves the problem. Because sometimes I find when I go in and blend, I'm taking off way too much hair. Hair in areas that I don't need to take off. I'm taking it off, basically. All right, coming through. Remember, guys, every section I'm cutting it right from where it lives. All right, now watch this back when I'm done. You'll see the back of this when I'm done. All right. Notice how, watch this, Matt. Notice how I don't comb away from me, because now I'm over-directing to the back. My last combing angle is always towards me in this particular case because I'm cutting it right where it lives. So if there's any tool that gets us in trouble, Matt, it's the comb. It's where we comb it to that creates the lengths and creates the imbalance, creates the imperfection, if you will. All right, now let's take a look at the back of this. Okay. Now let's release that. Okay, now notice, Matt, I'm going to give it to you close, how you don't see any of those lines. You don't see any of the disconnection.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's just touch, and look, you just start to see the frothiness that I get out of that. All right, now watch. Let's let the front down. Now watch this, guys. Now you just comb through this, and now look how satisfied she is. So she's still got it looking like it's one length. She can pull this back, but she can still pop up some volume. And that was the idea in that exercise. See that? And she still got some volume back there. All right, now,
cool.
That was the scenario. So far, let's talk about 2 scenarios we've done. Okay? We went through scenario, long hair, take a triangle section, cut that out. You've taken the bulk out in the back. If they complain about all that bulk, great to do on a 1-length bob. We did that. Client comes in, says, I want some volume, want to keep my length, want the front long, don't want an angle, don't want to layer it face frame. I need to pull it back for yoga, but I want some volume up here. Take a solid section, zigzag that section, and we cut right to the shape of the head, working around in radial sections. So we end up like this. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is, she says, Sam, I'm ready for some face frame layering. I'm ready to layer this out. All right, so now we're going to come through. We're going to separate front to back. All right. Any questions, Matt?
So everyone's just talking about how much they love you being on here. Jess is saying that we need more Sam Villa on the Woke Up This Way class show. And can you please come back or adopt me, she says.
Be happy to come back. Anytime for you, Matt.
That's
Anytime
right.
for you.
I love love working with you.
All right, buddy, here we go. Let's go for a middle part. Now, let's talk about that. Okay? I like putting in layers, Matt, working from a middle part. I find when I put it on a side part, because they wear a side part, you know, you're working hard to get your graduation even on the top. Work with a center part. Get your layers in, then come back and say, okay, which way do you part it? Then adjust that hair, that fringe area, to move in the direction they tend to move it.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to work with the middle part. Now I'm going to come back and visit some fringes and show you some cool ways to handle fringes and stuff, and some outgrowths. Okay. So now we'll take that back. So Sam, what did you do? I just separated front to back on my left side, front to back on my right side. Now I'm going to come through. I'm going to layer this. Follow me to the board here. Okay, let's go green. So now I'm going to work here in this area here, in the front, in this front. Notice how all of these scenarios are all tying into a haircut, if you notice that. Okay, now watch this one. I'm going to take this front area here. I'm going to use what I created as a guide here in this crown area. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to go 45, over directing forward. This will swing into my guide, become my guide, and now I'll notch this. Everything will go to a stationary guide now. So everything stays to a stationary guide. Okay? So now everything comes to the center, And all I'm working with is this front. Let's take a look at my sectioning. Okay, center part, section, 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 elevated to that center. So everything comes to that center. The angle we're cutting will be this angle. So what we're going to do, look at the head straight up. Give it to you with my comb. Okay, that angle. We're not going to cut this angle. We're going to leave a little bit of length in the front. Why? So that we can move that fringe area side to side. Let's say she parts it on the side. We'll address that. Let's get some layering in. Now, Matt, what I like about this technique is this is going to give me some face frame layering without going in and having to do it twice. I'll show you what I mean. Look at the crown, reaching back for it. That's going to become my guide. There it is there. Give you a profile view of this. All right. Matt, how's the lighting? Everything good?
Yeah, everything looks good.
Okay, good. There's my angle. Look at that. So now look how much length I have in that front area. There's my guide. Now I'm just going to notch to that. Okay. Now I'm going to show you where I'm taking it to. Okay. I'm elevating and right to that center. Okay. Once I'm there, now come back in and I'm going to soften this. Look how I lay that down with gravity. Okay. And come through. All right. Now my next section. I go diagonal forward. I'll give you a profile view of that. Okay. You can see my sectioning. There's my sectioning. I'm elevating slightly, over directing forward. Watch my comb. Watch the comb move to that angle. See that angle I'm cutting? Getting slightly longer as I go to the front. So my angle face framing is going to be just slight because I want to go in and work with some fringes. Okay, now let's take a look at just these two sections. All right. Now watch the angle I'm getting here. This hasn't been cut. That has. And you can just start to see the angle I'm getting on that. Okay. Now my next section. And everything to a stationary guide. Notice I see right where I can see my guide. Come back through. Soften deep. Okay. Now take a look at the angle. You just start to see that. And the reason I like doing that is because this gives me a really soft angle here. So it's not this. Diagonal back, pull it forward, cut the line in, then go back and layer it up. I like layering it and letting that layered action around the face frame give me that soft angle. Okay, you can just start to see that. Okay, now opposite side. I think this is a great way to save time in creating these face frame angles. Okay, and let's even take this and work it to the back. Whatever reaches is what I'll take. So slightly diagonal, bring it up and over. Okay. Jump into the other side. I'm going to give you a 3/4 view here. Looking for my guide. There it is there. Lay it down with gravity so you can see it. Don't try to fight with that hair, leaving it up. I find when I point cut, I like to do that. It just gives me a little bit more better control now.
A couple people are asking about how you fanned it out with your fingers. If you just wanted to share that.
Love to share that. All right. All right, here. Okay, now watch what I'm going to do. Just go in with your finger angle first. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to notch that out. Okay, once I've got that, now watch how I'll readjust. Right teeth the comb and I go deep. Now here's the key. Look where my thumb's at. Place the thumb right in the middle of your index finger, that joint. Now just make a fist. Okay? And then maneuver so you can lay it down with gravity so you have control with it. What I don't want you to do is stay up here and try to cut it because you can see how it falls. Now you're going to release the length. Lay it down. And now move. Notice I always move the fan mat. I'm not moving my shear. Keep that angle of the shear straight, parallel with that hair. Okay. Notice how I work diagonal forward. Okay. This will be that last section, front to back. Coming through now. Right to that center. Looking to see if there's anything that reaches. Nothing reaches. Just refan and adjust. Okay. Now, you can just start to see how I've gotten that angle there. But remember, I want that fringe longer in the front, just so I can just start to do some things for you. Show you a couple things there. All right, let's take a look at where we're at so far. Now watch the movement I've got out of that. Look at the shape I got out of that. And you can just start to see the movement I'm getting out of that. All right, Now, let's go in, Matt. Any questions up to this point, Matt?
So, Tiffany's asking if you cut the hair like this so there's less bulk when you go to the side.
Yes. So if I want less bulk on the side, I like cutting it this way. Remember, let's take a look at this. The problem with layering face frame area is this is higher, this is lower. More massive hair in the back, less up here. So what happens is when we layer this area, sometimes this gets too layered out too much, especially with fine hair. If this hair was fine, I would have dropped out this hairline, Matt, leave that one length, come in and layer this behind it, just like I did, then come back in and cut the line in. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving perimeter weight and throwing the layers on top of that perimeter weight. Too often, we take that perimeter hairline up into that, and with fine hair, we layer that out, and it's just too thin and too fine in the front area. So I think that's something we just have to be careful of, Matt, when it comes to that front area. It's not easy, really, guys, creating these face frame layers and all of that. Just, it's not easy. I saw a piece of hair I missed. I'm coming back to get it. Yes, Matt, go ahead.
No, I always talk about the face frame and fringe being the hardest thing because it's on a consistent curve and there's less density. So, like, there's a lot that you have to work with. People don't realize why that's so difficult, but it's difficult because you're on a different plane all the time as you're working through it. Somebody was asking, when texturizing the sides, how do you know that you take the same amount from both sides?
All right. How do you know if you're taking the same amount from both sides? So texture is all visual and feel. Let me say that. Okay. So that's why I like cutting dry, especially if you're going to get into these layers in the front face frame. Cut everything else wet, but then when you get front face frame area and you're lacking density, blow dry it. Get in there. Now you can see how much weight and density you're taking out. You can feel it. There's just no way I can cross-check texture like I can cross-check a precision haircut.
Right.
Texture is all visual and feel. You really got to keep feeling that all the way through. I hope that helps her out.
That's good.
All right. Now, look at how I moved it to the side now. So let's say she says to now, this is where I approach and say, okay, which direction do you like to take it? She goes, Sam, I like to take it this direction. So now, with the way I've cut it from the center, it's not meant to go that direction, so I got to find her natural side part. Okay. Once I have that, okay, now I know, okay, that needs to go that direction. So I want that hair to stay over there just like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blending shear. Now, don't panic what I'm going to do, guys. Okay. Some people say, Sam, you cheat, you do this. Guys, I didn't know I could cheat in this industry, cutting this. Okay? Tools are made for a reason. I just love working with various tools. Some people believe in a blunt shear all the way. God bless you. Do what's most comfortable for you. At Sam Villa, we're not here to say what's right, what's wrong. We just want to give you ideas. We want to share things with you that work for us that could possibly work for you.
And
so here's the...
Sam, can you break down the shears a little bit, because people are asking a lot of like what ones you're using, so I feel like you should share that.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. This is the blending shear. This is a reversible blending shear, okay? And it's reversible because it reverses like this, and we make it in left and right-handed. Now people go, well, why'd you reverse that? Many years ago, about 35 years ago, when I'm working with Redken for Salon, they sent me to Malaysia, Matt, to work, and I worked in a salon, and I watched these guys cut these bobs. And every time they finished a bob one length, Matt, they would come back in, they would take a thinning shear, as I knew it in those days, and they would put the blunt blade in the bottom, hold the bob about 1 inch above the length, and then they'd go close it. And they did that around. And I asked them, why are you doing that? And they said, because, watch my hand now, don't panic, okay? They said, because, Sam, our hair is like a broomstick. It's so stiff. We can't get it to bevel. What we discovered is if we go in, this is the length of the bob, we go in about 1 inch above the length and we close, we're getting a blunt line back here and softness on top. Now that gives us basically a baseboard, and it's easier for us to manipulate this to go under. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So he said, watch. So when he had a one-length bob client, he cut his one-length bob. He said, blow dry it. I said, blow dry it? Okay. So I took a Denman, did my little Denman move, got that thing to bevel, but I worked hard. Then he said, now wait on this side to dry. So he cut it like this, 1 inch above the length. He said, blow dry it. And Matt, it went under so much easier. So that's when I discovered that understanding how this tool works, but what they were doing in those days, it didn't reverse. So it was meant to hold one way, but then we reversed it. Their hand was in an awkward position. So that's why this is reversed. So some people call it a thinning shear. We choose to call it a blending shear, and it's reversible. Okay. So now watch how I'm going to use that. Okay, Matt? I think these are, some people don't believe in a razor. I believe in everything. Like a doctor, a dentist, they have so many scalpels and tools that they work with, and they discover things that make their job easier. So especially in today's world, I think you need to think about making your job easy right now, not making it difficult. All right, Matt, here we go. Here's my goal. I want that to sit there. Yet, when we want something to move to the side, it's not about taking length off if something keeps falling in their eyes. It's the way, number one, it could be blow dried, but number two, it's the weight that's making that collapse. So in order for something to move to the side, we need length. The shorter I take this, so she says, as far as my eyes. In the old days, man, I'd listen to them and I'd cut it that short. Now, this would move, because now growth pattern take over and it would just spit right down in their eyes.
Right.
So now let's take a diagonal forward section and understand when you texturize hair, your principles still apply. Elevation, over direction, finger angle. So I'm going to elevate it horizontally, parallel to the floor. I'm going to over direct it diagonally. I'm pulling away from where I want weight and length, over there. I'm going to take the blunt blade, I'm going to place it on the bottom. The teeth are on the top, okay? Then I'm going to come through, look at the angle of the blade. I'm going to weave it diagonal. So I'm going to weave from short to long. Now I'm going to close and backstroke on that. Open, close, diagonal, backstroke. Until all of that length that I did, that section I wove, is gone. Now let's take a look at what we did. That's how much hair we took out. Okay? But what we did is, let's look at the section. Now watch me comb this out, Matt. Turn the comb vertical. Now the detangles come out. The moment I go horizontal, I put the tangle in deeper. Go vertical. Now watch this, Matt. Now what we did, without you even seeing it, we just placed a diagonal line of graduation in there to help this move back and away. Look at that. Okay, again. Now, some of my buddies, they cringe when I do this. They go, Sam, what are you doing? Guys, you know what? It works. Sooner or later, they're doing it because they try it and they see it works. So we're just extracting weight in a controlled diagonal fashion by doing this. Sam, what? Why do you backcomb it? Why do you move back with a shear on it? Because when I move back, it pushes the hair and it gives me more variations of length. Instead of me just doing this, Matt, taking the shear and going boom, 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 now you just put a solid line inside of existing length.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And Matt, this is great too, my friend, for, let's say, for example, you're leaving something longer now because a client likes it longer, but she still says, I want my volume. Do this technique in the crown area, especially for those clients that backcomb their hair. It will really modernize their backcombing and enhance it. Okay, now you control how you weave, just like a highlight. So Sam, how much do you weave? Density, based upon the density. How much weight do you want to take out? That's how you go in and you determine how much you weave. Now watch this, Matt. Let's go back to that side part there. Okay, let's move this now. Look at that. Look how that stays over there now.
That looks good.
Now I'm going to come over here on this side and do it on this side. But see, it's all about control, you know. I think it's all about control and just understanding. All right, let's talk about it again. Look at the angle. Short to longer. Why? Because somebody told me short hair pushes long hair. Back and away. All right. So let's go in, do this, weave from the front now to the back in a diagonal fashion, close and backstroke. Okay, now for that person that asked that question, how do you control the balance? Count your weaves. If you're so concerned about it, weave 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now open, close, backstroke. Okay. And now look at the lightness, how I've kept the length. Look at the length. Look at all that length. But now look at the transparency through that. That's what I think makes this so cool, Matt, in regards to how it works, is the idea, once again, of understanding the tool, understanding density, what's the end result, and then work with it accordingly.
That's really good. If you had somebody's asking if somebody had a little bit finer hair,
yes,
less density, would you still do the same technique, or how would you tweak that when you do it?
Oh, Matt. Don't get me started, Matt. All right. Fine hair. Let's make fine hair a little bit more pliable. So maybe what you're going to do is you're going to decolorize it, because you need to change the fabric, change the texture. That it's, so closed, you need to explode it. But some clients can't afford highlights, so you need to rely on the cutting technique. So if I had fine hair, watch what I'm going to do. Same technique, but I have a razor in my hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the razor, weave it, turn the razor up. See, I just turned that up, and now I go after the hair that I weaved on the top. See that?
That's a good one.
So now the reason I'm doing that is I didn't turn my razor down because I'm taking out too much bulk. I turned the razor up to just kind of slide that, but at the same time, because I'm using a razor, I'm slicing out that hair, makes it more pliable. Now, with that fine hair, you're not taking out as much. You control what you weave, but you're going to get the response that you want. Fine hair, if I go in and use a blending shear, it's too much of a blunt action. So you got to decide, when do I want, oh, this is awesome, man. When do I want a blunt action, and when do I want this? Okay, that's going to be more pliable than this is. Okay, this is taking out weight, but it still has weight to it. That's that blunt action. So you have to understand, when do I want that blunt action and when do I want that carving action? That's how do you determine which tool. So to answer your question, I would go with a razor on that with fine hair, but you control how much you weave and then rotate to the top. And then the next time she comes in, always ask the client, tell me what worked, what didn't, and you adjust it accordingly. Does that help out, Matt?
That's perfect.
All right.
There we go.
Now, let's go in, Matt. Let's do one more thing now. Okay? Let's do a fringe now. Okay? A fringe awakens a shape. These clients are going to come in and they're going to say, you know what? I want something different. I'm tired. I need to look different. And sometimes you make suggestions. They're like, no, I don't want that. Let's just cut a fringe. Leave everything, trim everything else, but let's awaken your shape and give you a new look. And just simply by cutting a fringe, that will do it. So let's go in. Let's cut a triangle. Take a triangle section. All right. Take the legs of your clip, take them up, point them up, so that the hair is captured inside that clip. All right, let's go to the opposite side. Notice how I blouse that up. I like to allow the growth pattern to tell me where it wants to separate, yet I will widen it or narrow in some cases, depending upon facial feature map.
Okay.
All right, so now I've got my section. All right, now, let's go in, Matt, and let's cut a nice fringe that has some weight to it, but it's kind of like bitten into and chewed into on the edge, okay? I like to call it like a shag fringe, okay? So now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach all the way back to that triangle, okay? And it's slightly just offset, just the way because it was on the side. It's no problem, okay? I take a small piece of that top of that triangle. This has to be small. That's even too much. That's good. Okay, I'm going to create my guide. Okay, I'm going to go right to the hairline. Go to the what? Hairline. Okay, right there. And I'm going to cut my guide. People are panicking. Okay, now I'm going to take a horizontal section. I'm going to stand behind, bring everything to me, look for my guide. There it is there, and cut to that. I'm just going to notch it now. Okay, I'm going to take again a horizontal section. I'm going to stand behind, over direct back to me, and notch again to that guide. So here's what I'm doing, Matt.
Okay.
Instead of me going in and thinking outside in, meaning I'm going to go in and cut my perimeter, bring everything to that, cut the length, then come back and layering, it's taking way too much time. What I suggest that we do is think inside out. Layer this first so you're only handling this hair once, not twice. Okay, just once. Everything back. So now for those of you that panicked on how short that guide was, look how I've over-directed everything back to this stationary guide. Okay, but watch the length. Watch the length. Look how much length I have. But when I tickle this on top, look at the softness I have already. Okay? Now,
are you guys impressed? Are you guys impressed? Because show it in the chat, because I'm like so
now
psyched about
let's come in, Matt, and look at what I'm doing. See, now look at this. Look how I got all this up here, but look at how blunt, how that can look like she almost cut it herself. See, this to me, that took what, 2-3 minutes? Where in the old days, man, cutting this, I'd be here section by section, like this. Get all my length, and then come back and do this and layer it out. Then come back and pick up a texture shear and texturize it.
This literally just hit in every nerd like nerdy thing in me right now.
Well, if you're like me, brother, I know you are.
Yeah.
We get kind of nerdy on all these things, don't we?
Well, I love finding out new ways to do something. So like just seeing it in a more efficient way is just like, that's awesome.
Yeah, now look at that, Matt. Now look at this. Watch this shape now. Look at that. Now the shape's awake.
Sweet.
All right? And that's what's so cool about this in terms of, look at that. Now, oh, Matt, I'm still going to keep going, buddy, a minute here. All right, watch this. I want to just introduce them to something. Okay, this is Redkins One United. I know that we're not here to promote.
Promote away.
I'm working with it. Now watch this, Matt. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to show you something now. Now some salon, okay, let's talk, Matt. Are there anybody out there that has to cut with gloves? Does anybody out there need to cut with gloves?
Yeah, post that in the chat. I'm not sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
All right, watch this now. Okay, pick up this tool now more. Okay, I really believe you're going to be picking that up more. Next natural move, the next big trend will be natural movement. Now watch this, Matt. Take your hands. Okay, let's not go back. The past is where we learn. The future is where we apply it. But what I don't want to do is go back to the 80s and scrunch this. So I'm going to crinkle it. Okay, so watch what I'm going to do. Look at my hands. So I'm going to create a wave pattern. Look how I did that. Okay, now look at my pinky come behind that. So now, if you take a look at this section, Matt, I have it weaved into the hand like this, like a wave. Now all I'm going to do is just diffuse. And I'm going to place that on low. It's on low. Now just watch this one section. And your product of choice can be whatever you want, but look at what I'm getting.
That's cool.
You see that? I don't know if you see it or not.
You can see it.
But yeah, now Matt, imagine just doing this to the whole head and come in and crinkle it. But you're building in your wave patterns instead of going in and scrunching it up. I think that's going to be something that's going to be cool. So now take a look at the haircut. You got one side where it's kind of like just dampen it and you can go in and crinkle it like I was showing you there. Or you got one side that's just straight. All right, so let's recap this. All right, what we did was, here's our sectioning. Okay, we worked with the middle part. First story we did was, this is a great story to take out weight in that center back on about any haircut that you want to take weight out. Great section, great technique to do that. Solves that problem when they grab that bulk and said, get rid of this bulk. Next scenario we looked at was, how can I give someone volume and they want to keep all their length and they're not really interested in layering? Circular section that crown area, zigzag it, then work radial parts, sections to that, radial, so you get maximum roundness and volume, and you just notch into that, okay? Now, once we did that, next story was, let's create some face frame layering. We simply separated front to back, middle part, horizontal sections. We elevated these sections all the way up to a stationary guide, point cutting into them so that we get a really good shattered edge face frame to it, because we're working with a natural hairline. Instead of taking a diagonal section back, pull it forward, cut a solid line in, and then come back and layer it. Bypass pulling forward, cut a solid line in, just go in and layer it, and you'll get a really diffused soft edge. Matt, I had some fun.
Oh, so fun. So fun.
Then the last two things we did was we talked about how to create control fringes that go to the side or that move back so they're not falling in their face. And then we went in and we basically just created a shag fringe, short little guide to the hairline, over directing back, and then coming back in and taking rid of that length.
Such a pro. Such a pro. Yeah, you're good. That's like you were directly on an hour, Sam. You're no joke. It's like you've done this before.
It's my first time. I stayed up all night practicing for you.
Well, I got to be honest. One of the biggest things said in the chat was, guys, keep asking questions because then he'll never stop. And that was, that's the best. So
whoever said that, they know me well.
So thank you so much. I can't wait to have you back on here, and thank you for spending your time with us. Obviously, everybody that's watching this, please go, follow Sam everywhere if you're not already. I'm pretty sure you probably are. And make sure you go to samvia.com, purchase some tools there as well. Those are the only tool stores you should go to, Samvia and ours. So is there really any others? So.
And then don't forget, Matt, if you don't mind, June the 28th, we've got an event coming up, Fabric of Change, and it's all about supporting the Black community and the Black artist, the Black educator, and I'm so excited to learn about texture and talk about hair. And, I think that's so important that we all understand that there's all types of hair, and as a hairdresser, we should know how to work with all types, and I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, for sure. So that's on the 28th. Yeah, and then and what time is that at?
That's going to be all day from 10 to 7.
Okay, cool.
And I've got some great artists on there. Tippy Shorter will be my co-host. Michelle O'Connor is on there. Shannon King is on there. I mean, there's some big names on there, so don't miss it on June the 28th. Okay,
very cool. And they can find out all the information on your website, right? Just go to samvia.com. Cool. All right, Sam. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to jump off of here with you and close out the show. So you enjoy your day. Thank you so much.
Matt, thank you for what you do. We love you, man. Keep doing what you do. You're amazing. Everybody out there appreciates your free education, buddy. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
All right.
All right, Sam. I'll see you.
But I'll see you live somewhere soon.
All right. Sounds good. All
Take
right,
care,
guys.
Matt. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Sam. See ya. All right, guys. So, Samvia, everyone. I know you guys enjoyed it. I saw it in the chat the whole time. One of my favorite things about this show, not only being live teaching you guys, which is I'm gonna be back doing that. Not tomorrow. I'll be back Wednesday. So, sorry, but I have obligations tomorrow. I can't do the show, but I will be back Wednesday with the show. Another special guest coming up this week, Ben Brown from B Education from the UK. He's going to be on here, I think Thursday is the day. I'm pretty sure on that. And then, and I'll be teaching Wednesday. So tons and tons of stuff coming up. Make sure if you haven't downloaded our FSE Now app, that's where you can rewatch these shows very easily. Also, join our community, all the OGs in the chat that were going crazy in there today. Those guys are all on the app. They're sharing their work, building your profile, talking as a community to each other, professional community as hairdressers. So get on there and download it. I'm actually going to show you guys a real quick little commercial of the app. I'll be back. We'll close this thing out. And there we go. So here is the app. Check it out and then go download it. Here we go. So that's the app, guys. So if you don't have it, if you haven't downloaded it yet, it's free. It's free, 100%. So you got nothing to lose. Go check it out. Also, I'll be back here Wednesday. We're live every day. Those of you guys that are new, we're live every day at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, most of the days that we can, Monday through Friday. And teaching live classes just like the one you just saw. I'm definitely stealing 2 things from Sam today. I'm stealing the shaving the doll heads down, the old ones, and drawing on them, because that's an awesome visual. I'm going to put a whiteboard behind me for sure. And so 3 things. And the bang technique was killer. So if you guys want to watch back this class, just save it right now on whatever social platform you're on. You can rewatch on YouTube or go to our app, FSE Now, download it, create a profile, and you can watch it there as well. And also some more Sam Villa videos on our app. They're on there too. So thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. You're seriously the best community there is in the hair industry. We're growing every day. I love seeing all of you guys, familiar people in the chat every day. You guys are super dedicated to this industry, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you again to Sam Villa for being on here live, dedicating his time to speak to you guys and to hang out. Thank you to him, and I will see you guys soon. What do we say at the end of the class, at the end of the day? Until next time, you guys are awesome. All right, it's going to be a great day. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, guys.
Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. Let me show you the way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it.